Hello and welcome back. We're now at a very exciting part of our show. This is called Table Talk, and with us we have the wonderful Shaun Toohey, David Frisch, and Mary Ellis. And this is the part of the show, if you're not familiar with it, where we literally just pick out questions out of a hat or a bag here. It may or may not, probably doesn't have anything to do with shows at all, but it does give us a chance to get to meet some Ottawa artists and learn a little bit more about them. Let's throw this one to Mary. How did you get your start in theatre?
Well, I studied theatre at the University of Ottawa, and came out, thinking I was going to be an actor, and it took a few years. I lived in Toronto very briefly and didn't like it at all, so came back to Ottawa. And one of the first shows I did was a show at GCTC.
What was it?
It was Sandinista.
Oh yeah, that's a famous show at GCTC.
It is a famous show. It was the first show in 910 Gladstone.
That's right.
It was the biggest show they'd ever done, so it was very, very exciting to be a part
People
of that.
are still talking about that show.
I know, it's amazing.
It's a big show.
Because it was many years ago. I won't tell you how many, but it was many years ago.
Well, Sandinistas
Yeah.
puts it right anyway.
Yeah.
David, what about you?
I went to school to study waitering, and as a side job, I thought that I would get into theater just because it seemed like something that would give me a lot of fun. No. What was the question?
Shaun, over to you. Shaun, how did you get started in theatre?
I think my first acting was reenacting Sonny and Cher episodes and Donnie and Marie episodes with my sister in our basement on Friday evenings after the TV show. My first professional job was when I was 17, and it was a musical about the United Empire Loyalists.
Wow.
You can imagine, yes.
Wow.
It had some great tunes.
What was the big 11 o'clock number?
N-the-U-E-L, weave your magic spell.
Yeah, that must have brought him
And
to
my
the
favorite
feet.
line, my favorite line, when they reached the St. Lawrence and they all walked across.
What did that even rhyme
It was
with?
great, but I got paid. I was a teenager and I lived for a summer and we did this show in the park. So that was really sort of my first big gig.
And Dave, seriously, what was your first professional show?
My first professional show?
Okay, no, your first theatre experience.
My first
Where you were involved in theatre.
Where I was involved, I think through grade school, after a while, somebody pointed out that I was getting the leads in the school plays every year. But I was also being groomed for being a lawyer, and then eventually I was like, no, I don't think I like that. I'm not sure I'm intellectual enough to get through law school. And then I think around my mid-teen years, I started questioning everything, and also fell in with a bunch of active theater people at my high school. And by the time I was in my last year of high school, I think I was like, oh, I want to do this.
Off to high school, huh?
Yes, for me,
Right.
it was at high school, it was Brian Doyle, because he taught me at Glebe.
No kidding.
Yeah, and he would often write the school shows, and I was in a lot of them, and he was instrumental in inspiring me.
We're going to be talking to Janet Irwin,
Yes.
and who's directed Brian Doyle's show Up to Low Short.
Yep.
So that's very cool. I did not know
Yeah.
that. Wow. Table talk. We're learning so much about each other. Okay. What's the worst pickup line you've ever heard? Oh, it doesn't say said. Oh.
Could we make
This
it
is
sad
easier.
bird?
I don't know if you'll be able to use this. I don't know what the I'll tell the story and you can decide if you can use it. How's that
Okay,
sound?
go for it.
Let's see, mid-80s, I was living in Boston.
Sandinistas.
A woman I was seeing, she'd broken up with me and I was very morose, and it was right before Halloween. And friends of mine called and said, we're going to a Halloween party in the South End at a loft somewhere, and you should come. Just pull together some costume. You'll get out. Maybe you'll have a good time. It'll get you out of your funk. So we get to this place, and I'm standing in a group with the people I came with, and just a few feet away, maybe 10 feet away, is another group of people. One of whom is a very fetching young woman who is dressed as the young daughter from the Flintstones.
Mm-hmm.
Pebbles.
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 And our eyes made contact for a moment, and I realized she's holding contact, so I go, okay, go over there, say something, Dave. So I work my way over toward her circle, and she looks me in the eye and goes, this year it's trick or fuck.
We won't be using that. That's a good story. Wow.
And I said, I don't get it. And the heavens opened and God looked down and said, and so you shan't.
Wow. That's a good one. That's a good
What do
one.
you say to a line like that?
What about you?
Are we allowed to say fuck?
You just did. You just did.
Okay, my favorite pickup line is, fuck me if I'm wrong, but isn't your name Ethel?
Sorry about the broken hip, Ethel, but it was worth it. Okay, what about you, Mary?
I don't have anything, honestly. People have never, I can't think of a pickup line that's been used on me. I know that's really lame, but
Okay.
I can't, honestly.
All right, here's my one that didn't work. Okay,
Okay.
this is a failure. I was once at a party and I met this really fabulous woman, and I thought, well, I'm going to go up and talk with her. Years ago, of course, years ago. I went up there and I was chatting with her, and she liked to scuba dive. Right?
As
That
you
was
do.
her. Right? And I made the mistake of blowing it by screwing up the tenses. She said, "Do you scuba dive?" And I said, "I've scuba divin', dove, scuba dived, dove," and she just walked away from it. Anyway,
Sorry.
that's Table Talk, everyone. And after the flip, we're going to be talking with Mary Ellis and David Frisch about their upcoming show at the Gladstone Theatre.